Hi guys, Sci-Fi Recapped here. Before we start, warning, spoilers ahead. Today, I'm going to explain a 2021 American satirical science fiction movie called Don't Look Up. The movie begins with Kate DiBiase, a PhD candidate who currently works at a space station. After setting up a device, she spots what looks like a comet hurtling toward Earth on the screen. Shocked with what she has discovered, she invites her coworker, Professor Randall Mindy, and other colleagues to celebrate. Mindy decides to name the comet after her name, Comet DiBiase. The professor is amazed with the discovery and does some calculation to measure the distance between the comet and Earth. However, based on the calculation result, he realizes that the comet is far more dangerous than they expected and tells the others to go home, except Kate. The next day, they call Dr. Calder, representative of Kennedy Space Center, and Dr. Teddy Oglethorpe, head of Planetary Defense Coordination Office, revealing to them that the comet is huge, sized around 5 to 10 kilometers wide, and is going to hit the Earth in 6 months and 14 days. Mindy is frightened by the fact that the Earth is going to be destroyed in less than a year. After that, they travel to the White House, where they are welcomed by Dr. Oglethorpe and General Thames. While waiting, the general offers them a snack and a water, which he charges them for $20, not a very reasonable price for a snack. Later that night, Kate discovers that all snacks provided in the White House are free. They are supposed to inform the president about the upcoming catastrophe event, but after waiting for 7 hours, Jason, chief of staff, suddenly comes out from the room and tells them that the meeting is not going to happen tonight. At hotel, Kate calls her boyfriend, Philip, and tries to tell him about getting herself stranded in the White House for 7 hours, but he doesn't seem to care about it and fills her with his work problems, which she is not interested in. Realizing that Kate is not very responsive, he brings up her issue with his mom and starts a fight with her. On the other side, Professor Mindy calls his wife, June, and his 2 grown-up sons, telling them his finding at work. The next day, they return to the White House, where Mindy and Kate explain the situation to President Janie Orlean and Jason. Despite them playing up the major imminent threat by telling them that the comet is a planet killer, the White House representatives don't seem to care much for it and don't think of it as a big threat since their calculation does not have a 100% certainty, even though it is at 99.78%. The president even doubts their credentials as a scientist. Dr. Oglethorpe suggests an immediate strategy to deflect and change the orbit of the comet so it doesn't collide with Earth by using drones that are equipped with nukes, but it seems that the president cannot fulfill that request since political matters come first. She concludes the meeting by saying they should just sit tight tonight and assess, which makes Kate and Mindy furious. Meanwhile, in the Silicon Valley, there is a presentation by a tech company called Bash Cellular. The CEO, Peter Eischerwell, introduces their newest product, Leaf, which can detect how its user is feeling and provides them with the right contents to cheer them up. After the event, he is shown a picture of the comet. The scientists then plan to leak his confidential information to the press. The New York Herald representatives agree to make an article about the comet since the calculations are credible. They are also invited to a popular show hosted by Bree and Jack called The Daily Rip. Mindy tries so hard to fight his public speaking anxiety. Before their turn, pop star Riley Bina comes first to talk about her breakup with fellow musician DJ Cello. The show even provides them a live chat where the ex-couple reconcile and Riley randomly accepts Cello's marriage proposal. After that, Mindy and Kate go on air while Dr. Oglethorpe watches from home. They explain that the comet could damage the entire planet, but the hosts don't take it seriously, which makes Kate lose her temper and start screaming that they are all going to die. She then walks out from the studio while Mindy maintains his composure. After the show, Bree invites Mindy to get a drink together. Following her exaggerated expression and bold statement on the show, Kate eventually becomes a meme on the internet, while Mindy becomes popular because of his calm looks. He is disappointed since no one is terrified with the upcoming disastrous event. Meanwhile, Kate's boyfriend deliberately posts an article about him sleeping with Kate and implicitly states that he wants to break up with her. Later that night, TV news reports that President Orlean's nude pictures have been leaked, which will damage her popularity for the next presidential election. The next day, Mindy, Kate, and Dr. Oglethorpe are arrested at different locations by FBI agents and are brought to the White House to meet with Orlean. It is then revealed that she wants to use this comet issue to divert public attention away from the scandal. Jason delivers a presidential apology and states that they agree to proceed with Oglethorpe's strategy earlier to deflect the comet's route. To regain trust from the American people, Orlean is going to make a presidential statement the following day about the comet collision with Earth, telling the citizens that NASA and the military army will launch a preemptive strike to blow the comet off its course. Since the country always gotta have a hero, she assigns Patriot Benedict Drast to be in charge of the mission. The scientists are so relieved with the decision. Since the statement, the news of the comet has become a highlight, and Mindy also becomes famous because of his charming face. Surprisingly, he also hooks up with Bree, the host at the Daily Rip, since he becomes a recurring guest on the show. She reveals to Mindy that she has slept with 2 former presidents. It is the launch day, and the nation watches as Benedict and his team launch into space while the scientists and the president watch from the White House. A few moments later, Peter, who turns out to be the donor for the mission, shows up at the room and urges to speak with Orlean privately. Not long after the launching, Benedict and his team appear to turn around and begin pulling back to Earth, suddenly aborting the mission, which makes everyone confused. The scientists, who have no idea what just happened, are locked in a room while questioning the president's decision to call off the mission. Suddenly, Jason approaches them and assigns Mindy as chief science advisor for the White House. At the emergency meeting, Peter reveals that the comet contains an abundant amount of the most valuable minerals in Earth, which are now being used in the manufacture of phones and computers. Since the minerals are running short and most of these mineral mines are now managed by China, this comet will be an astonishing opportunity for the state's economy if they somehow manage to harvest the minerals from there. Mindy disagrees with the idea, but the CEO assures him that the mining procedure will be extremely safe to Earth since the comet will be crushed into 30 smaller meteoroids, which will bring less harm while being steered and decelerated with the latest technologies developed by the company into the ocean. U.S. Navy ships will be waiting at the ocean and will be ready to claim the debris. That night, Mindy shares the Comet Mining idea to his colleagues who think that it will never work. Mindy seems to believe the CEO's plan and attempts to convince Kate and Dr. Oglethorpe that there is still a hope. Kate disagrees, yelling at him that it is a complete disaster which attracts people in the bar. She loses control and decides to spill the information to everyone there, causing chaos at the bar. Because of that, they have to tie her up, and the White House wants her off the grid. Dr. Oglethorpe walks away as he is also disappointed with Mindy's decision to take sides with the government. After signing an agreement with FBI agents, Kate returns home only to discover that her parents are also supporting Peter's plan since the comet will provide jobs for them. Meanwhile, Mindy is seen in the advertisement encouraging people not to fear about the upcoming comet. June later confronts Mindy and Bree in his room. Surprisingly, Bree doesn't feel remorse at all for screwing others' husband. Disappointed, she demonstrates how to take care of Mindy to Bree by throwing all of his numerous medications at him. After that, she walks away. On the other side, Kate now works as a cashier at a supermarket where she meets an anti-government activist named Yule. He invites her to come over to the playground. Later that night, she attends the party where later she hooks up with Yule. Meanwhile, Mindy is introduced to the Bash drone that Peter claims will be a mankind savior. He doubts the readiness of the device, but Peter is offended with that and convinces him that all devices created by Bash will never disappoint in a harsh way. At the Daily Rip, Mindy suddenly becomes enraged and yells at the camera that people should be worried since a giant comet as big as Mount Everest is going to hit the Earth. He finally speaks up and expresses his fear toward the catastrophe, accusing the president that she has been lying all the time. After the show, he gets a bag on his head like Kate was, and Bree breaks things off with him. While spending her quality time with her new boyfriend, Kate spots the comet entering the Earth's atmosphere. Mindy realizes it as well and immediately calls his colleague. He reconciles with her and they meet up, broadcasting the event all around the world. Since that, 2 sides are formed. The first one is Don't Look Up, that is initiated by the president and her supporters to oppose Mindy's warning, and the other one is the Just Look Up side where the people already accept the reality. Mindy and Kate conduct a concert where they tell people that there is no safe way to bring the comet to Earth and it needs to be destroyed. They also invite Riley Bina to perform a song that encourages people to look up. The next day, Dr. Oglethorpe is informed that the president and Bash have cut Russia, India, and China out of the rights for the minerals. The countries then decide to deflect the comet on their own, but a massive explosion is detected at the Russian launch complex. That means if the Bash mission fails, the Earth will be destroyed. Clueless and hopeless, Mindy decides to bring Kate and her new boyfriend to go grocery shopping, acting like nothing is going to happen. He returns home and reconciles with his wife. Dr. Oglethorpe also shows up at Mindy's house to join the party. They then have a family dinner together and don't care anymore whether the Bash mission is successful or not. It's the D-Day of the Bash Comet Mining mission. People around the world are watching from home. Some of them are praying, while the super advanced drones called BEAD are launched toward the comet. However, several BEADs failed to launch. Peter ensures the others that it is still within the margin of error and everything is fine. Upon reaching the comet, the beads begin to falter or get destroyed due to the malfunction, which makes Janie and Peter realize their efforts are futile. Until now, the comet is still intact and the rich, including the president and Peter, realize that it is time for them to run away from Earth. Orlean then calls Mindy, apologizing for not trusting him earlier. She then offers him and his wife to join her in an expedition to the nearest Earth-like planet. He rejects the offer and chooses to stay with his loved ones. Unfortunately, Jason is left behind in the control room. They then pray to God as the comet eventually hits the ground and slowly destroys the whole Earth into pieces. More than 22,000 years later, Peter, Orlean, and the other survivors in the pods arrive nude at an Earth-like planet which is inhabited by weird creatures, and they begin to eat the humans alive. Meanwhile, Jason somehow survives from the disaster and now lives alone on the Earth. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.